Hello, it's Monday morning and it's a beautiful day and we're off on an adventure. We have Hugh's mum and dad staying with us for the next couple of days. The weather is beautiful, so we thought that we would go across to the Isle of Wight. It's perfect, just a nice gentle amble, stay there, have a beach day, come back tomorrow. Lovely, lovely.
We got back in time for a spot of crabbing before bedtime.
Get the bucket.
Go slowly.
That's a really big one.
Massive!
Look, it's huge.
We got two! See the caught one!
Back in.
I caught one, Dad!
Back in.
We always tip it, like,
Put the meat back in.
we tip it on the floor.
Right, I've put the GoPro on now.
11.
One gone in.
5, 6, 7. Oh, we caught those crabs.
And more crabbing after breakfast the next day, although not as big a haul as the previous evening. The kids all did their learning, and then it was off to Southampton. This time there was enough wind to get the sails up. Meanwhile, down below, we arrived back and ate a delicious meal prepared by Tilly, and then had a very fitting end to a lovely, lovely few days.
On your dreams, there'll be days like this when people understand what you mean. There'll be days like this when you ring out the changes of everything. Oh, my mama told me there'll be days like this.
A last-minute game of rugby cup before it was time to say goodbye.
Good a bit.
Bye! Bye!
First time I've had proper guests.
That was such a successful trip. It was like, it's completely reminded us why we're doing this. I'm very excited for our 10 weeks of sailing.
But before we can go on that adventure, we have so much to do. So it was back down to reality with a bump. I had to drive back to the Midlands for work, but this time I took the children with me so that Hugh could have a few days on his own to get on with some of these bigger jobs. As you will see, he really struggled to get back into it after such a lovely few days away. We both just want to be sailing now, but we have so much to achieve before we can do that.
It is baking hot. So I'm just having a bit of a think. My brain's going everywhere. It's baking in here. I'm baking a banana cake or a banana loaf because we've got 2 really old, gone off bananas. And my brain's a bit fuddled, so I'm just going to do that. And then I am actually going to crack on and do some work. Our baking paper's in here. Gonna have to quickly fix that.
It wasn't even in there.
Despite prattling around this morning, I have actually got a few little things done. And one of them has been trying to work out exactly what we're going to do with the seating and the coaming deck-wise. We are going to have to go for a cheaper option over the whole boat, I think, just because everything is so expensive in the marine world. But I've got this little sample here of this do-it-yourself first generation flexi-teak product called Is It Teak, and it's like a T&G version that you put together yourself, with a little tongue on that end and a groove there, and like you lay it all yourself, and it does look pretty good, in fairness. Like, well, it looks really good. I think I chatted to John, who fitted our tow rail. He said one of the issues with this has been that when it's not fitted well, so the seams do come apart, or can come apart under heavy load or just through poor installation. But it's, I mean, it's still expensive, man, actually. But amount of time, work, it's probably equivalent to me painting or matting it with something else. And I'm quite tempted because it looks like the real thing. The only thing about this first generation teak, and one of the big downsides of it, was the heat retention. The new stuff's like 30% less heat. I mean, it's already warm. I remember on Tukulele, I walked on it on a really hot summer's day and it was quite warm. And this white deck at the minute, it's just like, it's blinding hot outside, and it's not, you know, you can walk around fine barefoot. This stuff, having said that, is killing my eyes. This stuff won't kill your eyes so much, but it will absorb some heat. But I've just left it out in the sun here for the last couple of hours and put my hands on it, and it's not too bad. I mean, it will be worse when it's glued down and surrounded by lots of other stuff that's also a heat sink. But I'm tempted to use this stuff just on the cockpit seating here and on the coaming. So I'm having that debate in a minute, but I've got a couple of the prices, got a couple of the quotes of options, and I've got to make a decision to get on with it. It's got to be done. There's a nice boat going past. That perfect view with some plants. Woo! Yummy. This morning I did a pretty good job. For once, I actually did a complete tidy up and clear out as Kelly and the kids were getting out of the house. So I'm really pleased. So actually, I'm almost ready to go straight away and get back into work mode. And now with the sofa, with all my tools in it, I know the sofa's not finished, but its first of 3 functions is complete, which is somewhere I can put all my stuff. I do need to organise it all. But I reckon I'm in a situation now where I know probably where well over 3/4 of my tools are. So I'm going to take this bit of carpet up now, but we're almost back to building site conditions, which means I can now have a fiddle and a mess around with Eric and Darcy's hatches, port and starboard hatches, which is what I'm going to do. But I said I was going to take them off and start working them straight away, and I suddenly thought before I do that, I might just double check I've got all the materials I need, like enough paint, because that's the only thing I'm not sure about. Because there's no point taking off to paint them if I haven't actually got what I need, right? Not happy. I'm just clearing out this space. This is one of the old original water tanks. And it's underneath Eric's bedroom floor at the minute. And I've been using it as a paint store. And I've just now, for the first time in months, seen the bottom of this tank from up here. And you know what's sat down there? Water. Where the fuck has that come from? I know where it's come from. It's fine. It's that leak. It's that leak on top of the tank. But I'm just like, oh. So I've just cleared out this tank, and the losses are quite minimal by the look of it. Everything seems okay. The only thing that was right at the bottom is the Perfection undercoat, which is the exact paint I'm going to start putting on these hatches, hopefully tomorrow. Be the day after at this rate, right? I think it might be alright. I'm going to open it up in a minute and have a look. But
And the water will also have gone through to the other side. The other side is where those are bits of leftover flexi-teak deck. stuff. And then also in there is, above that, is all the fittings, like the winches and stuff that are going to go back on the deck. They're all marine, they're all pretty hardy, and there's only, you know, 2 inches of water at the bottom, so whatever at the bottom being hit a little bit. Idiot. Yeah, I don't think it's the end of the world, but I'm just feeling like I really don't want to be doing this. And I'm just like, I know exactly what's gone wrong. The water's overflowed there, and it's spilt back through over the top of these tanks which aren't sealed. Gonna try and have a better day today. It's my second day without killing the kids, and yeah, gonna crack on, take the hatches off, and just try and solve this problem. Because the issue at the moment is that I can't paint the deck until the hatches are finished, and it's quite a complex solve, especially getting back into it. And also, I've got to clear up this mess from the water tanks, and probably try and get this other one actually finally sealed. I think it's going to be a fairly simple job. I've got to do it. There's a lot of advantages to living in a city centre like we are right now. The River Itchen is full of builders merchants. I can get anything, and not only that, because it's like Southampton, because it's a marine like centre of the world. All these builders merchants stock marine plywood and marine bits, which is amazing. Last week, the closest possible builders merchant to us is literally the fence backs onto our fence in the marina here, Elliot's. Went there last week and they delivered the plywood over the fence for me via the forklift truck, which was amazing. However, I've spotted and realised the builders merchants just down there, which is still only like one site over, so we're talking about 200 metres away, they've got a huge slipway that goes right down to the river. So this week I'm going to go over there and I phoned them up, they've got what I need. I'm going to go buy some plywood now, which is big, thick, heavy plywood, and this time, because I can get it in the dinghy, I don't even have to lug it all the way down the pontoon. I can just put it straight in the dinghy, bring it here, straight into Esperance. So I'm going to go over there now, get what I need. The tide's rising, but hopefully we'll all be good. Right, it's a bit muddy, a bit gunky crappy, but we're doing all right. I have to take my sunglasses off and squint at you because I don't like wearing sunglasses and talking to people. I think it's very antisocial. How are you else going to communicate if you can't look at somebody? That was easy. Plywood on board. One of the guys from here helped me carry it down, which is nice. Now I've got to work out how to launch the boat with this best bit of plywood on it and muddy boots. But it actually looks like really good quality stuff. And it was 70 quid, which actually for a sheet of 18mm ain't that bad. So hopefully it's quality's all right. We'll see. There we have it. Plywood in position next to Esperance. Next thing I need is a hole saw. I've got 2 76mm ones already, but they're both blunt as something blunt. So I'm going to hop on my bike. It's only a 5-minute cycle up to Screwfix and go and get a new one, and then I can do a real tidy job with these hatches. Fingers crossed. I might also get like, there's quite looking like burrito place that looks quite nice the way past. Let's see if that's open. Who knew? Having sharp tools helps. Look at this. This is my old 3-inch or 76mm hole saw. Can you see how blunt those edges are? Look at that. They're like wave crests without the crest. Anyway, got my new one. Here it is. And it's just boshed straight through it. Bosh! The biggest pain in the ass with hole saws is the cutout getting stuck. Anybody know a better way? I know I could take the saw off the arbor, and that would help a bit. But to be honest, I think in time saving, this method here of jiggly pokely probably takes about as long. But if anybody out there has any clever ideas, and while they're busy clicking the like and subscribe link, want to always also write a comment about a better way of frickin'ly getting this out, let me know. After a good 20 minutes of faff around trying to get this hatch off, I finally went for the boat method, which involved tying the hatch to some halyards and putting them tight on the winches over the top of the mast, and it worked. It was good. I'd really hoped my days of grinding fiberglass were behind me.
but I'm doing these hatches, I've got to do them properly. But yeah, look at that nasty goggles, man. I think I know why I've been so rested for the last 2 days. Deep down, I must have known that I was going to have to go back to grinding glass. And it's like, I've got like post-traumatic stress from last year, and all those days covered in poisonous, horrible dust. Like, now I've done that, I'm like, right, get on with it, I know what I've got to do. But yeah, bloody hell, like, don't want to do that. Yeah, definitely what it is. Just got back from a wash in the shower. Let's see how much carnage I've created in here. So yes, Kelly, there was a barrier up to limit the dust, and hopefully everything's settled. Whoa, it is so reminiscent of last year. Oh, look at that, it's like prints and crap. Oh. Anyway, so what I've done is completely cleared out, cut back and ground back all of this here. So now I can finish making this new frame, which is just over here. This is the first and main piece, which I've cut already, and the curve is perfect, so I'm going to use this as my guide. This is such a flappy, crappy, flappy job, and I just don't want to be doing it. This is actually the biggest thing. I want to be sailing and doing adventures, but it's got to be done. So here I am, just like, it's so bitty, putting bits in, routing them out, making them fit, putting more bits in, routing them out, and then I'll assemble the whole thing, fill it full of like polyester resin and colloidal silica, and then hope it holds, which it will, because it's going to be as tough as boots, old boots. Here comes the moment we've all been waiting for, everyone's favourite tool, the flush bit router. I love this thing, like, it's absolutely brilliant. Kel, yeah, best a man can get, best present ever, buying a man a flush bit router. If you want to please your man, that's what you do, ladies and gentlemen. Right, here we go, you can get to see it in action. At the moment it looks like this, all scrubbly rubbly, scrubbly rubbly, scrubbly rubbly. But this bit at the top is correct, and soon all of this will also be correct. It's faffy, but I'm getting there. Got my frame. You can see how flush bit router in it all. Exciting, right? I've just got 3 layers, and I've got the 3rd bit now to trim up and make it look tidy. So I'm gonna go do that, and then hopefully start installing it in place.
And then his boat working week was over, as we all returned and the boat had to be transformed back into a home. But he did manage to fit in one last job.
It's exciting, this. I was just finishing the clean out so the kids and Kelly can move back into the boat, and there's some water down here, but whilst I'm down here, last time we went sailing the impeller wasn't working, so I'm going to do the impeller clean, which Kelly is very worried about. Show me worried face. Okay, here we go. So this involves taking the impeller out, which is below the water line, and having the water come up and then having to bung it. That's why it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wow, I gave that a proper clean before we went in the water at Hailing. Oh wow, there's those little bugs. Oh, they're swimming around. They're swimming in the bottom. They're now swimming around in our bilge. Oh, that's not what we want.
What?
We'll let some creatures loose. Look, we've got a little pond here, Darcy, with some pets. Sorry? There you go, kids, it's going to be pets. We're going to keep them down there in the bilge.
Yeah. Pets.
There's 3 of them at least. 4. Oh, that water's going to be flowing back into the... Oh, pants.
What?
Oh, just I'm an idiot, Kel. I've got the impeller clean, so that spins again. There's still creatures coming out of the thing. I don't know, I couldn't believe how gunk that is. I mean, what's it? We've been in the water not quite 2 months, and that thing was absolutely gunked up, and so many life forms in there. But I'm kicking myself because I originally opened this bilge to get the last bit of water out of it, and then saw this job, and it's like, I might as well do that before I do the water, because the water will spill out. Oh, and now I've refilled all these tanks, I have to clean them out completely, and the water will be flowing back into them. So I've got to empty them all again and clean them all again. I'm just peed off with myself for being an idiot.
that job done. Hopefully next time I'll learn a few things, such as when it comes up, there's likely to be hundreds of little creepy crawly critters.
Right, job done. Both tanks completely emptied, completely cleaned out.
And I've put a pipe going across the fittings from one to the other,
So that they are now completely separate from the bilge for all of that. So next time, water won't pour into these lockers, former water tanks, which are now what we use for storage. This is thrilling stuff, guys. Anyway, it's all good.
We had a lovely surprise at the end of the week when Chris, the old owner of Esperance, popped in to say hi. He then became the second person in our Come and Play Our Piano feature.
What a showman. I was willing, I was like, okay, camera right, wink. Trying to give a little, like,
Sorry,
a little
stage cues there.
stage cues.